And for more, let's welcome in CBS Sports combat analyst and co-host of the award-winning Morning Combat, Brian Campbell. Jiri Prochazka submits Glover Teixeira in the 5th round to win the light heavyweight championship. Fight was awesome. Both men were warriors. Prochazka, the first champ from the Czech Republic in UFC history. BC, your reaction to what we all witnessed, because that fight was awesome.
I mean, the struggle here is to try to put that type of drama, violence, action into proper words. I don't think there is proper words. This was a 4-round and nearly 5 full fight, not a mixed martial arts contest, not a technical battle. This was absolute war, and to see it end via 5th round finish, to see Glover Teixeira ahead on the cards, the grappling and submission expert, get tapped out in the closing seconds with less than 30 seconds to go. That's as wild and unpredictable shades in some ways of Anderson Silva rallying in round 5 down on the cards to submit Chael Sonnen. Only this fight wasn't one-sided like that one. It was back and forth. Even when one fighter had a monster round cutting the other, you saw the reversals on the ground. You saw each one close the round by rallying. This was as wild a title fight as we have seen in UFC history, and certainly on the short list of the greatest battles. And it's just a shame that there's only one winner in the end, because even though Teixeira appeared to be on his way to winning a decision, had this gone the full distance, these two showed the kind of heart, chin, toughness, perseverance, reversals on the ground. This was an epic movie, only somehow it was real life. What an absolute stunner of a finish. I don't know about you, Hakeem. I'd do it again. I'd do it again. What an epic night at the fights.
Yeah, run it back. I'm writing down during the fight. I wrote slugfest in round 1, brawl in round 2. I want more in round 3. And I got more. Jiri Prochazka runs his win streak to 13. He caught lizards growing up in the Czech Republic. And you'd find out that fun fact if you listen to Morning Combat. That's where I found that fun fact. I listen to it each and every week. Now he's a UFC champion. What does this mean? Because he's the first UFC champ from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, he's also, this is just his 3rd UFC fight, which is really just incredible. His 17th consecutive win. He had 10 consecutive knockouts coming in. Only, look, the scouting report was Jiri Prochazka was obviously the favorite. He's younger, he's bigger, he's more explosive, but he's a little bit flawed, a little bit reckless, a little bit of a wild ninja out there. And he got taken down early in the fight, yet constantly fought back and reversed this. We've got a special fighter here. Obviously someone who's got an incredible will to fight the way he does. But talk about a fan favorite style. Puts his chin out, leans it forward, almost dares you to try to strike. Only then he comes back with flying stuff you've never seen before. But to be fair, most of what we've seen throughout Jiri Prochazka's career was seeing that crazy style pin people back to the fence, scare them into opening up and making a mistake. This was almost an entirely different type of victory. Yes, it was wild and crazy and reckless, which is the kind of fight that Jiri Prochazka shines in. But once again, that cut over his left eye, which happened midway through the fight, could have brought an end to it at any point. He was on his back for most of it. He was fighting off submission attempts. He showed the type of recuperative skills that you just don't see, even at the elite level. Whether this goes down as an immediate rematch or not, Jiri Prochazka is must-see TV at every turn, and he's got to be a future fan favorite with the type of risks he takes. It paid off this time, but boy, did he have to crawl through hell to get there.
Doesn't it remind you of a character from Mortal Kombat?
He's right? Like a video game character, Hakeem. He's a character to begin with. Nothing about him is orthodox or normal. You got to love it.
He was fun to watch, and good thing that we can watch Glover Teixeira continue his career. Decided he's not retiring, so that's good. He didn't throw the gloves down on the mat. He continues. He'll bounce back. That was a fun fight in the light heavyweight championship, but it's Jiri Prochazka taking the title there. What a fight that was. All right, let's go to the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko defeats Tylor Santos via split decision to retain her flyweight title. There was a clash of heads in round 3. Santos' eyes swelled up. She said she couldn't see. Valentina then rallied late. BC, was this a survive and advance for Shevchenko because she was a minus 625 favorite?
Boy, was it. Look, Tylor Santos came in with the closest betting odds of any underdog throughout Shevchenko's current impressive title reign, which is now extended to 7 title defenses. So we knew there's potential she can be competitive. What we didn't expect was to see Santos come out to that big lead. And obviously the scorecards ended up being disputed. You saw a lot of people wish Tylor Santos got a better deal on those cards. But I think to the letter of the law, the judges actually got this one right. The big major swing round there is round 2. Yes, Tylor Santos took Shevchenko down, which was the big shocker, the success continually that she had on the ground. Only in round 2, Santos was so inactive in top position while fielding strikes from Shevchenko that referee Mark Goddard, after threatening them, did end up standing the 2 up. Shevchenko nearly got a submission in round 2. She got the advantage on the striking. If it comes down to just that round, it is survive and advance for Shevchenko, with obviously that third scorecard, 49-46 for the champ. Didn't seem to tell you the actual story of the fight. But even though this showed the championship medal of Shevchenko to rally, maybe benefiting from that accidental headbutt, which caused that bad swelling to the right eye of Santos, you saw some holes there from a fighter who we thought coming in was more or less perfect. The best female pound-for-pound fighter in the game, on her way in some ways, you could say, to becoming one of the greatest of all time. She kind of met her match, at least on the ground here, although Shevchenko certainly took advantage when the fight was on the feet.
Yeah, Santos certainly exposed some weaknesses or something that a future opponent may try to exploit going forward. Shevchenko now on a 9-fight win streak as she does survive and advance, the longest in women's flyweight history. So good for her as she extends her winning streak. Now, right before the co-main event, a strawweight rematch between Zhang Weili and Joanne Jędrzejczyk, who put on one of the greatest fights in UFC history 2 years ago. Saturday night, though, Weili sends Joanne into retirement with a brutal spinning back fist. We'll get to the retirement announcement in a moment, but first, BC, your reaction to the finish and what this means for Weili.
This is a huge bounce-back victory for the former champion Zhang Weili, and what it shows is the difference between the two fighters in the 2 years since their first fight. We know Jędrzejczyk took that entire 2 years off. Yes, she was in the gym, but she was at a point in her career where she needed a break. Even though Weili lost her title in those 2 years, including 2 consecutive losses to Rose Namajunas, what she did was evolve her game. You can see she's a physical tank, much stronger than she was 2 years ago. She added the wrestling and the ground game, but she also added the variety of striking. This was a determined Joanne Jędrzejczyk who came out there predicting a knockout. You knew she was going to be willing to go out on her shield, and to see Zhang Weili essentially put her there with a spinning back fist KO, spectacular face-first violent knockout. Boy, is Weili Zhang back in this title picture. UFC President Dana White said the winner of this fight would get Carla Esparza next, the new champion who upset Rose Namajunas in their rematch. Weili's coming on at 32 years old. She seems to have fixed whatever hiccups she had in losing her title, and you saw an absolute complete performance in this round and a half that was executed at very high speed. It was reckless in there, but Zhang Weili coming away with the big win.
Meantime, a heck of a career comes to an end as Jędrzejczyk announces her retirement, nearly 35 years old, fighting back tears as she made the announcement. Former UFC women's strawweight champ made 5 successful title defenses. BC, what's Joanne's legacy?
She's the most successful champion that this amazing division has ever seen since it launched in December of 2014. No one has had that type of suspended reign. This division is so deep. We know names like Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza, Jessica Andrade, all have won a share of this title, but they flip-flop it so often. What Joanne did in coming out and defeating inaugural champion Carla Esparza in 2015 and beginning this reign, she was the first star of this weight class. She carried herself like a star, and for somebody with such a big name who didn't have a lot of power or finishing ability, she fought like an absolute warrior each and every time out, co-authoring 2 years ago with Zhang Weili the greatest female fight in the sport's history, and really one of the top 5 of all time, if we're being honest. This rematch, it's going to be hard to live up to those expectations, but Joanne went out on her own terms. She got into the best shape of her career for this fight, and she came in there with the same spirit she always has in the past, a true champion. In fact, she liked to be called Joanne champion in her prime. How about Joanne legend, Hakeem? Because this is one of the special fighters that we've ever seen in the sport.
Indeed, Joanne legend. I like that. Well done, BC. Joining us here on CBS Sports HQ, giving us perspective from UFC 275 in Singapore. Great stuff as always. And hey, for more from BC and his running mate, Luke Thomas, check out the award-winning Morning Combat. Watch the series on YouTube. You can also listen to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Morning Combat. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.